The Epstein files have proven Elon Musk to be a liar. In September last year, complaining about a Sky News headline associating him with Epstein, Musk said, quote, "Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused. Refused, all in capital letters." So this is, of course, intended to make Musk sound not only like someone with good judgment, but someone who's cool, right? He wanted me to come because I'm amazing. I said no because I saw he was rotten. Let's look at some of the actual exchanges between the two. So these are emails from November 2012. So Epstein emails Elon Musk. "How many people will you be for the heli to Ireland?" Heli obviously being helicopter. Elon Musk says, "Probably just Tallulah and me. What day night will be the wildest party on our island?" So remember, this is what Elon Musk considers a refusal. Musk then followed up on Christmas Day. So this was sent in November. Then on literally the 25th of December, right? Musk emails Jeffrey Epstein and says, "Do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year, and so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for." And Jeffrey Epstein says, "Understood. I will see you on St. Barth. The ratio on my island might make Tallulah uncomfortable." So this is a very upstanding guy who doesn't like pedophiles, who's saying, "I refused." Now, of course, remember, at this point, Epstein had been found guilty of procuring sex from a child. So, it goes without saying Elon Musk has no excuse, but he's very much giving a false impression of what happened. Ultimately, emails show they didn't make it work that year, so Epstein had to go back to New York. They couldn't make the dates align. But the two would try again the following year. So this is, again, Christmas Day. So what else do you do on Christmas Day other than send a message to Elon Musk? Anyway, actually, we'll start on December the 13th, 2013. "We'll be in the British Virgin Islands, St. Barth area over the holidays. Is there a good time to visit?" That's from Elon Musk. Jeffrey Epstein says, "Any day, 1st to the 8th, play it by ear if you want, always space for you." Elon Musk says, "Okay, probably the 1st then. Epstein, the 2nd or the 3rd will be perfect. I will come to get you. Musk, I need to fly back to LA, blah, blah, blah." All quite boring, actually. There's just two guys trying to make a date work, but it's clearly not someone refusing to go to an island. This is Elon Musk trying to find a date where he can go to the island where he wants to go for the wildest party he can do. So caught lying. Elon Musk will say, of the people in these files, he isn't shown to have done any sort of wrongdoing in the same way that like Mandelson or Prince Andrew has been. But definitely he gave a completely dishonest account of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And also, when Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted child sex abuser, he still wanted to go to his island for the wildest party possible. Another Musk story, beyond the Epstein files, Musk's bigger business concerns potentially are this week that European leaders seem to be growing a backbone when it comes to standing up to his power. So this week in France, Elon Musk's ex-offices were raided by Paris's cybercrime unit. This is from The Guardian report. So they say the Paris raid is part of an investigation launched in January last year into the suspected abuse of algorithms and fraudulent data extraction, which the prosecutor's office said it had widened to cover complaints about X's artificial intelligence tool Grok. It said the alleged offences it was investigating now included complicity in the possession and organised distribution of child abuse images, violation of image rights through sexualised deepfakes, and denial of crimes against humanity. Other possible charges included fraudulent data extraction from and falsified operation of an automated data processing system by an organised group and an operation of an illegal online platform by an organised group, the statement said. So I think denial of crimes against humanity, in lots of Europe, Holocaust denial is illegal, which is not in this country. Elon Musk and former chief executive of X, Linda Yaccarino, have also been summoned for questioning. Responding on X, Musk complained, "This is a political attack." Meanwhile, Spain has become the latest country to announce a ban on social media for children under 16. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez made the announcement at the World Government Forum in Dubai.
Social media has become a failed state, a place where laws are ignored and crime is endured, where disinformation is worth more than truth, and half of users suffer hate speech. a failed state in which algorithms distort the public conversation and our data and image are defied and sold. Spain will ban access to social media for minors under the age of 16. Platforms will be required to implement effective age verification systems, not just checkboxes, but real barriers that work. Today, our children are exposed to a space they were never meant to navigate alone. A space of addiction, abuse, pornography, manipulation, violence. We will no longer accept that. We will protect them from the digital Wild West.
This is how Elon Musk responded to that announcement. He said, "Dirty Sanchez is a tyrant and a traitor to the people of Spain," with a poo emoji. This is, I suppose, the guy who wants to own the future. France, the UK, Portugal, Denmark, Greece, and the Netherlands are all considering similar bans on social media for under 16s, which I absolutely welcome. Stand up to Elon Musk, protect our kids in more ways than one. Elon Musk has also this week, sort of talking about the power this guy wants to have. He's recorded a 3-hour podcast with Dwarkesh Patel, who's a tech podcaster, and John Collison, co-founder of Stripe, the payments application, I suppose. They talked a lot about why Musk thinks data centers need to be built in space. But it was the part about his view of our relationship with powerful AIs that I found most worrying.
In the long run, I think I don't. It's difficult to imagine that if humans have, say, 1% of the intelligence of the combined intelligence of artificial intelligence, that humans will be in charge of AI. I think what we can do is make sure it has that AI has values that are that cause intelligence to be propagated into the universe. So the reason for XAI's mission is to understand the universe. So now that's actually very important. So you say, well, what things are necessary to understand the universe? Well, you have to be curious, and you have to exist. You can't understand the universe if you don't exist. So you actually want to increase the amount of intelligence in the universe, increase the probable lifespan of intelligence, the scope and scale of intelligence. I think actually also as a corollary, you have humanity also continuing to expand, because if you're curious, trying to understand the universe, one of the things you're trying to understand is, where will humanity go? And so I think understanding the universe actually means you would care about propagating humanity into the future.
So there's understanding the universe.
Yeah.
They're spreading intelligence, and they're spreading humans. All three seem like distinct vectors.
Okay, well, I'll tell you why I think that understanding the universe encompasses all of those things.
Okay.
You can't have understanding without. Well, I think you can't have understanding without intelligence, and I think without consciousness. So you in order to understand the universe, you have to expand the scale and probably the scope of intelligence. There are different types of intelligence.
I guess from a human-centric perspective, like put humans in comparison to chimpanzees. Humans are trying to understand the universe. They're not like expanding chimpanzee footprint or something, right?
But we're also not. Well, we actually have made protected zones for chimpanzees, and even though humans could exterminate all chimpanzees, we've chosen not to do so.
Stephen, I saw your face when you talked about the chimpanzee. So this is to bring all these stories together, right? You've got Elon Musk, the world's richest man, who lies about his relationship to a convicted paedophile, who begs to go to his island, and then says that actually it was Epstein that did the begging and he did the sort of principled refusal. Then when elected European governments are trying to protect kids from his terrible social media sites, he is posting poo emojis to them. And now he wants to make an intelligence so powerful that we could end up all being the equivalent of monkeys in zoos, while these greater intelligences, to some degree, sort of propagated by Elon Musk, sort of feed us as a protected species.
I mean, what he never says is why. Like, why is this a valuable project to like send artificial intelligences out to like understand the universe? What does it achieve? You know, like it goes so much back to this to the Epstein thing, that this kind of like supremacy idea is that, you know, people like Elon Musk have like such a profound misunderstanding of how intrinsically incredible human beings already are. You know, like we have language, we can think about the future, we can think about the past, we can think about the hypothetical, we can think about, you know, to some extent, the impossible. We can do calculations in multiple dimensions, which are not the ones that we live in, through mathematics. We can create great art and music, and we can do terrible things as well, but there's nothing else in the universe that can do the terrible things that we can do.
Well, we don't know that, but
well, as far as we know.
As far as we know.
And yeah, as far as we know. And that makes us already profoundly unique and wonderful and amazing. And yet people like Elon Musk, who have in some sense, you know, the sense of themselves as having the power to create something better, only think it's better because they have such a diminished view of what we already are, I think. And I find that like striking and shocking, really. And yeah, and as you say, you know, this is a man, I mean, you know, leave aside the sense of superiority. I mean, he's obviously not entitled to it. Like, he's a ketamine-addled, impulsive, racist person who allows child porn to proliferate on his platforms, who is determined to shape our democracies to his own will, and throws enormous tantrums anytime anyone tries to put any limits on him. This is a toddler, basically. This is a toddler with access to drugs. This is not somebody who should be looked to for like divination about the future of humanity. The future of humanity is here with us, not with individuals like Elon Musk. Or at least I hope not.
Well, I suppose he's also, because I always, you know, when people say he's dumb, I mean, I think clearly in many ways he's intelligent. People always get angry when I say this, but he's started so many revolutionary companies, revolutionized so many industries. I think if you've, you know, reduced the price of sending rockets into space by 100, and then also sort of advanced electric cars by potentially like a decade or something. The guy is smart, but he is a living, breathing example of why intelligence isn't everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's intelligent, but he's also a psychopath. Like, and I suppose going back to the previous story about sort of Jeffrey Epstein, sort of who thinks he's the most intelligent person, and that we should sort of breed this master race, and everyone else is essentially worthless and should die. It's like, again, I think Jeffrey Epstein was probably a very smart person. By all accounts, he's very charismatic. I mean, I think that's why he managed to make so many friends, and why he, you know, did make a big success of his life, and, you know, whilst abusing loads of, you know, I mean, I suppose the point I'm making, smart but psycho.
Yeah,
terrible.
Psycho.
So like equating intelligence with goodness, or equating intelligence with sort of being able to resolve humanity's problems, it will play a role. We need some smart people around. But if we say, let's just get some high IQ people, shower them with praise and hope for the best, I don't want to live in that world.
Yeah, and there are plenty of smart people around as well. And the other thing is that, you know, what Musk and these sort of individuals who, you know, they're kind of Ayn Rand characters, right? They sort of think they have a sort of special purpose because of their sort of greatness, and they completely ignore. And I mean, it's hard for Musk to do it, because although he takes credit for everything, actually he's just in charge of actually a lot of collective scientific and technological achievement, like people working together to do it. And like, yeah, intelligence is something that individual humans possess, but it's also something that collectives of human beings possessing, and to a greater extent when they work together on things. So yeah, I don't think you need these Ayn Rand type figures, these Howard Rorks. They're dangerous, and they, yeah, smart but psycho. I think that's, yeah.
And the last thing we want is for them to have more money and power than most countries in the world. That seems like a recipe for disaster.
That is going to bring democracies down. That is going to be the end of, you know, if it's allowed to continue where, you know, such a small number of people have godlike wealth and power, it's absolutely, the idea of democracy is completely unsustainable. You have to be such guardrails in place in order to protect it. But what can you do? I mean, like, you know, the EU is already, you know, talking about in various ways regulating Twitter. But, you know, Aaron the other day was talking about, well, you know, Musk would just, you know, set up Starlink, and people will be able to like bypass the rules of their own geography or their own countries. in order, for him to dominate that space with the views that he likes and the kind of material he likes. It really can't be allowed to happen. And yet, unfortunately, all we ever see our politicians do is pander to them.
Also, even if you don't want to live sort of like a monkey in a zoo, like most of the monkeys died, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't the case that sort of like we killed a lot of monkeys.
Don't you just feel so sad when you see a monkey in a zoo?
Yeah, it's like, I want to be that guy. Let's make smart computers so I can be a monkey in a zoo.